So we started seeing this around a couple weeks into quarantine or stay-at-home orders, and now the messaging is even more apparent in pretty much every social media account you come across. And what I'm talking about is this idea of the quarantine 15 or gaining weight during the COVID quarantine. But why is the messaging that's being perpetuated by this more damaging than the quarantine 15 itself? We're talking about all that and more in today's episode. Welcome to Fearless Fridays, where we are talking all about your health and wellness concerns in the most raw, real, and bullshit-free way imaginable. My name is Dr. Melissa Chofi, and I am the owner of New Quest Physical Therapy, which is a mobile physical therapy practice serving areas in New York and Connecticut. There is so much misinformation out there in regard to the medical field, and with our healthcare model increasingly putting profits over patients, you as consumers need to be given all the tools you need to demand what you deserve, ensuring a strong, resilient, fulfilled, and fearless life. My goal is to educate and empower all of you to stand up for yourselves and be able to call bullshit in a realm that is confusing as fuck. Let's get into the episode. So I want to preface this video by saying, for those of you who have either an eating disorder or disordered eating, there is a difference between the two. If you have that, I really encourage you to get the help of a mental health professional to deal with those issues. So this could look like anything between overeating to undereating. We always think of disordered eating as anorexia, bulimia, but it could go the other way. So if you're trying to mask your depression or sadness or grief with food or restricting your food, I really encourage you to work with someone to help you through that, because it's so needed. There are things that are so deep rooted in our psyche and what we've gone through and how we value ourselves as people and our coping mechanisms and all of that. So a really great licensed mental health professional can help you through that. And I just wanted to say that before we even start, because I think it's a very underutilized service and it would help a lot of people get through stuff like this. In normal everyday life, I don't have any tolerance for diet culture or diet culture talk, but we're in the middle of a fucking global pandemic. So the fact that you're being shamed for gaining weight right now pisses me off to no end. I don't like when people are shamed for gaining weight to begin with, but when there's a fucking health crisis going on and they're being shamed, that makes me even angrier. So, again, I know that you guys have seen this. It's like, well, it's shown in obese people that COVID is more predominant, blah, blah, blah. It's more predominant in obese people. No. What did those obese people, what did their lifestyle look like? Were they regular exercisers? What was their diet like? What was their stress level like? What was their sleep like? What was their mental health and emotional health like? How did their body move? It's not just because of a number on a stupid scale. Hate to break it to you, but that's the meat and potatoes of it. So that being said, touching on that point, we are already in a high stress situation right now. Obviously, there's people around us who are getting sick. We're afraid of getting sick. And if you're not, there's other stressors that are going on. So you're taking on a billion different roles for your job, for yourself, for your family. You're learning how to adapt to an incredibly different life. We're not living the same lives we were 3 months ago. Look how much it's changed. Going to the grocery store now is like a half a day event because it's insane. The lines you have to wait on, the precautions you have to take going to and coming back from the store, even dealing with people. And we don't have the same outlets we did. So gyms are closed still in a lot of areas. We don't have the social outlets that we once did. We don't have the physical connection with those people who live outside of our households to kind of combat that. So we're really just like one big walking stress ball right now. And that being said, what happens when you have more stress? Your cortisol levels increase. And then what happens with that is that your hunger levels then increase. And in a time of high stress, biologically speaking, it's innate. We're all born with this. In times of high stress, you're going to crave comfort foods. You're going to crave fatty foods. So it's natural that you're having these cravings. It's not a matter of willpower or you being a shitty person because you're giving into them. It's you giving into what your body was given. So I'm not saying like lay around and eat cheeseburgers all day, but I'm also saying if this is you and this is partly why you gained this weight, it's not something to be shameful of. It's not something that a diet is going to fix. A diet will probably actually make this worse. It's not something that a new exercise routine is going to fix either. Like, you have to get to the root of the problem, and the root of your problem is not a willpower problem. It's a mindset problem. It's how are you feeling? What emotions are you going through? Looking at your sleep, looking at your stress, and seeing how to combat those. So somebody telling you to try a new diet like keto or intermittent fasting or going on a workout program, those might actually, because it's adding something else to your life and might add to the overwhelm, that might actually be doing more of a detriment right now if you are stressed out by adding more stress onto your plate. So you really need to kind of do a self-audit and see where you're coming from, why this might have happened, what you can do to combat it, instead of trying to jump back into diet culture, because I guarantee you doing that is going to make you fail. It's going to make you feel miserable. It's going to make you feel like shit. And then to make another point, all this restriction and all of that too, I'm sure that many of you who have gained this weight have a history of participating in these diets and participating in these crazy workout problems, thinking that your body is going to change and all of your problems are going to be solved. Like, you're deep rooted in diet culture, and that's very common, especially among women, and especially now with social media pushing all of these messages on us, and all of these fitspos really taking advantage of the crisis to our detriment and to their benefit, which is a shame. But that's what's happening. So again, anything external, and I say this all the time, anything external is not going to fix what's going on internally. So you know what to do, guys. You know that diets aren't going to solve your fucking problem. You know that a new workout isn't going to solve your fucking problem. So until you get down to the root of why you're doing what you're doing and being mindful of what you're doing and being mindful of how it makes you feel, forget about the weight gain. Forget about how the weight gain makes you feel. How does eating the way you're eating right now, how does moving or lack thereof make you feel? How does sleeping for a full night make you feel versus sleeping for a couple of hours? How does doing things like going for a walk, spending time with your family, drawing, journaling, whatever, how does that address your stress levels versus, oh my God, I got to do this and this and this, and then I need to go on this diet and I need to pack this and I need to do this workout today? Like, none of that matters. It's the internal stuff that really matters. And again, if you need help with that, please seek the help of a mental health professional, because that's their job. And that's sometimes it's needed. It's not a sign of weakness, and it's really, really important to add them to your list of, in your arsenal of all your healthcare providers, because they're really awesome. And just to reiterate the importance of the health at every size movement, if you guys don't know what this is, you should really educate yourselves on what it is. A lot of people have this fallacy thinking that it's saying somebody who's morbidly obese and can eat whatever they want and not exercise and they're healthy. That's not what it is. It's that health goes beyond what the number on the scale is. So like I mentioned before, so many components factor into your health and well-being, that blaming something as complex as health and wellness is really lazy if you're doing it based off of a number on a scale. So we really have to pay attention to our movement, our quality of movement, what our exercise looks like beyond moving. So by this, I mean endurance, strength, actual mobility of our bodies and our joints. What does our stress look like? What does our sleep look like? What does our mental and emotional health look like? And just really cutting, and what does our diet look like, obviously? And really getting down to the nitty gritty and investigating all of those avenues is the only way that we're going to get to the, like, I can't think of what I want to say. It's the only way we're going to get down to the root of our health and wellness issues. So looking at a number on a scale alone isn't going to do that. If journaling is something that you want to explore and you don't really know where to start, click the link in my bio. I have eternally free mindfulness journal prompts that you can find in there. It relates to how you feel around food, how you feel around exercise, how you feel around just general mindset. It's just general stuff. It's not going to diagnose or treat anything. It's just to kind of give you a little bit more push into being introspective with where your life is going and where you're coming from. So again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Especially now during the pandemic, it's more important than ever that we keep our emotional, mental, and physical health intact to be able to survive this, and we will survive this. It's not forever, it's just for now. So as always, just keep educating yourselves, ask questions, demand better of your healthcare and your healthcare providers, and as always, stay fearless, and we'll see you next week.